This one truth, if fully grasped, can break the chains of mediocrity in an instant. Every result in your life, your income, your body, your relationships, your joy, is a direct reflection of the standards you've decided to settle for. It's not about what you want, wish for, or dream about. It's about what you're willing to accept. The quality of your life comes down to the baseline you've set for yourself, and most people are stuck exactly where they are because they've unconsciously decided that their current level of pain, disappointment, or struggle is good enough. Think about it. When did you last hit a wall in your life, physically, emotionally, financially, and then suddenly change something? Maybe it was when you looked at yourself in the mirror and couldn't recognize the person staring back. Maybe it was a moment when you saw the bills stacking up or the look of disconnection in your partner's eyes. That moment, that raw, real gut punch of a moment didn't change your life because of motivation. It changed because you hit a threshold. You said, I will no longer tolerate this. That shift wasn't logical, it was primal. You raised your standard, you drew a line in the sand, you decided this is no longer who I am. That's the power of standards. And here's the truth, your current life is perfectly designed for the results you're getting. If you're struggling, stuck, or feeling unfulfilled, it's not because life is unfair, it's because somewhere deep inside you decided this was acceptable. Maybe not consciously. No one walks around saying, I want to be exhausted, broke, and lonely. But the habits, the choices, the self-talk, and the patterns all reveal a set of invisible rules you've built your life around. If you don't upgrade those internal rules, nothing outside of you will change in a sustainable way. We all have rituals, daily patterns that shape us. If you've trained yourself to wake up tired, scroll your phone, complain about your boss, avoid difficult conversations, and numb yourself with distraction, then you've trained yourself to tolerate a life beneath your potential. But the moment you raise your standard, those patterns can no longer survive. They become incompatible with your new identity. It's like flipping a switch, not a slow, wishy-washy change, but an identity shift. You stop saying I should and start saying I must. The word must changes your energy. It taps into your personal power. When something becomes a must, you'll do whatever it takes, burn the boats, go all in, pay the price, and never look back. You don't get your goals, you get your minimums. You may want to be fit, but if you've tolerated skipping workouts, eating garbage, and giving up when it's hard, then your body reflects that standard. You may want to be wealthy, but if you've tolerated debt, financial chaos, and trading time for pennies, then your bank account reflects it. You may want deep love, but if you've tolerated shallow communication, unspoken resentment, or lack of intimacy, then your relationship reflects it. The moment you say, I will no longer tolerate this, the world begins to reorganize around your new truth. And the people who can't match it, they fall away. Good. Let them go. They were only holding you at the level you were pretending to be satisfied with. So ask yourself right now, what in your life are you tolerating? What pain have you gotten used to? What story are you telling yourself that keeps you safe but small? What would happen if you made a decision today, not a hope, not a wish, but a real decision to raise your standard in that one area? I'll tell you what would happen. You'd start to act differently. You'd begin to walk, talk, think, and respond like a person who refuses to settle. You'd build rituals around excellence. You'd no longer need willpower, you'd have identity power. Because your standards shape your identity, and your identity dictates your actions, and your actions create your results. It's a chain reaction of transformation. The truth is, people don't usually rise to their goals, they fall to their standards. If you want more, you must become more. Not someday, today, when you demand more from yourself. When you raise your emotional, physical, financial, or spiritual baseline, life doesn't get easier, you get stronger, more focused, more disciplined, more magnetic. And suddenly people start asking what your secret is. There's no secret. You simply stop negotiating with your own weakness. You stop tolerating average, and you raise the damn standard. Decisions shape destiny, not conditions. If you want real, lasting transformation in your life, it doesn't begin with changing your environment, your job, your partner, or even your goals. It begins with a decision, one single decision. A real decision, not a preference, not a maybe someday, not a hope it works out. A decision is the cutoff point. It's the moment you tell yourself this is happening, no matter what. That kind of decision has more power than 100 good intentions stacked on top of each other. Most people live like thermometers, reacting to the temperature of their life, their past, their pain. They blame their circumstances. I wasn't raised right. I don't have enough time. I never got the chance. But what they don't realize is that power doesn't come from perfect conditions, it comes from decision. History is full of people who came from nothing, who had every reason to fail, but they decided to write a different story. They chose to act in spite of fear. They chose growth in the face of pain. They decided to own their life. And that decision, just that, became the catalyst that launched everything else. A decision doesn't wait for permission. It doesn't ask if it's convenient. It doesn't care about the odds. It carves its own path. It burns bridges. It closes doors behind you, so you must move forward. The second you make a true decision, the universe starts shifting. Not because of magic, but because you're now sending out a different frequency. Your body moves differently. Your eyes look sharper. You start attracting people, opportunities, and momentum that match the new energy you're operating at. You no longer act like someone hoping to win, you decide you've already won, and now you're catching up to it. Trade expectation for appreciation, and watch your world transform. One of the biggest sources of suffering is unmet expectations. We expect people to act a certain way. We expect life to go according to plan. We expect results on our timeline, and when those expectations aren't met, we don't just feel disappointment, we feel resentment, anger, even despair. But the problem isn't the world, it's the trap of expectation. It locks us into rigid thinking, it disconnects us from the moment, it sets us up for emotional pain. But the antidote is just as powerful: appreciation. Appreciation is the secret weapon. It shifts your energy instantly because you can't feel fear and gratitude at the same time. You can't feel anger while feeling deeply appreciative. When you trade expectation for appreciation, you're no longer trying to control everything, you're opening to what is. You're seeing the beauty in the small things, you're stepping into abundance instead of scarcity, and that shift isn't soft, it's powerful. It doesn't mean you stop growing or wanting more, it means you find power in what's already here. It means you stop measuring your life by what's missing and start fueling it with what's present. Appreciation opens your heart, centers your mind, and energizes your body. If you're not growing, you're dying. Growth isn't a luxury, it's a necessity for the human spirit. Deep down, every one of us craves progress, not just the results that come with it, but the experience of evolving, stretching, becoming something more than we were yesterday. Stagnation might feel safe, but it's an illusion. The truth is, the moment you stop pushing forward, you start sliding backward. There is no standing still in life. Nature doesn't operate in neutral. You're either expanding, learning, pushing into discomfort, or you're slowly shrinking into patterns of fear, doubt, and decay. Growth doesn't always mean massive leaps. It's not about overnight transformation or dramatic change. It's about daily progress. It's about asking yourself each day, am I stronger, wiser, braver than I was yesterday? Have I challenged myself? Have I learned something new? Have I stepped outside my comfort zone, even in a small way? Because comfort is the enemy of greatness. It whispers to you that you're okay where you are, but greatness never comes from staying okay. It comes from seeking the edge, from finding the place where resistance lives and leaning into it. Pain is part of growth, so is failure, so is uncertainty, but those things don't destroy you, they forge you. The people who grow the most are not the ones who avoid the storm, but the ones who step into it with a purpose. They understand that growth comes from pressure, like diamonds formed under the weight of time and heat. And once you taste the fulfillment that growth brings, once you feel the pride of becoming more, not for anyone else, but for yourself, you'll never be satisfied with staying the same. The only way to sustain success, fulfillment, and passion is through constant growth, because without growth, even your biggest wins will start to feel empty. You'll look around and wonder why you're still restless, why the joy fades, why the fire dies out. It's not because you lost something, it's because you stopped evolving. Growth is the fuel that keeps your inner fire alive, and if you keep feeding it, you become unstoppable. Burn the boats, commit fully, or don't bother. Most people leave a way out, a backup plan, an escape route. It sounds smart, but it's a trap, because when you leave the door open to retreat, part of you stays hesitant, part of you holds back, and hesitation kills momentum. But when you burn the boats, when you make the decision that this is it, there's no turning back. Something inside you wakes up. You unleash a level of drive, creativity, and resourcefulness that you didn't know existed. Commitment isn't convenience, it's a declaration. It says, I'm all in, no matter what it takes. That level of commitment changes how you move, how you think, how you show up. It forces you to rise. It pushes you to find a way, because there is no plan B. You can't dabble your way to greatness. You can't half love, half work, half lead, and expect full results. The greatest breakthroughs happen when you go beyond the point of return, when your heart and soul are on the line, and when quitting isn't on the table. Let me tell you something, from my heart to yours, there will come a moment, maybe today, maybe tomorrow, where you stand at a crossroads. You'll look at the life you're living and the life you know you were meant for. You'll feel that pull, the one that whispers, there's more. And in that moment, you'll have a choice, not just to stay or to go, not just to try or to quit, but to decide who you are going to become. That decision right there is the one that will change your life. Everything you need is already inside you, the fire, the clarity, the hunger. You don't need to wait for the right moment, because this is the right moment. You don't need another permission slip, another green light, another person to validate your dreams. The clock is already ticking, and you've been gifted a life, a single extraordinary, once and forever shot to become the person you were born to be. What you do with that shot is entirely up to you. There will be fear, there will be setbacks, there will be days where everything in you wants to retreat. Play it safe, shrink back into what's familiar. But hear me, nothing great ever came from comfort. Nothing legendary was ever built by people who played not to lose. You are not here to survive, you are here to create. You are here to stretch, to fail, to rise, and to do it again, stronger, wiser, more unstoppable than before. The path to a life that's on fire with purpose and power isn't about having all the answers. It's about making the decision that no matter what, you will keep going. You will raise your standards. You will own your story. You will command your state. You will move your body, direct your focus, lead with appreciation, commit fully, and grow endlessly. Because that's who you are now. That's who you've decided to be. And everything in your world will begin to shift the moment you own that truth. People might not understand it. They might question why you've changed. Let them stay confused while you get clear. Let them play small while you build something massive. Because at the end of your life, you won't be measured by what people thought of you. You'll be measured by what you did with the time you were given. And if you decide right now to live fully, fearlessly, and on purpose, then that decision will echo through every area of your life. It will change how you speak, how you walk, how you love, how you lead. So the question isn't can you? You already know you can. The question is will you? Will you step up? Will you lean in? Will you rise over and over until your life reflects the truth of your soul? Because this isn't a speech, this is a call, and this will change your life. Look at any area of your life where you feel stuck, lost, or uncertain, and I promise you what's missing isn't strategy, it's a decision. A decision to no longer operate from fear, a decision to stop waiting, a decision to draw a line in the sand. Every breakthrough begins with a decision to stop playing by the old rules. You change your rules, you change your results. You don't need the perfect plan, you need a powerful why and a decision to back it up. You don't need a map, you need a mission. When your decisions are rooted in purpose, in hunger and truth, you become unstoppable. Because decisions aren't about willpower, they're about identity. When you decide who you are, what you stand for, what you will no longer tolerate, what you will die for, your actions come alive. You stop asking for permission to change and you start claiming what's already yours. Everything changes the moment you do. Success is 80% psychology, 20% mechanics. That ratio is not a guess, it's a universal truth. You can have the best tools in the world, the best strategies, the right step-by-step blueprint, but if your psychology isn't dialed in, none of it matters. Why do two people go through the same program, read the same book, listen to the same mentor? One explodes into success, the other barely moves the needle. It's not knowledge, it's mindset. It's the internal wiring, the beliefs, the hunger, the identity they operate from every single day. Most people think success is just about doing more, hustle harder, work longer. But without the right psychology, hustle becomes burnout and effort turns into frustration. Because underneath every action is a belief that drives it. If that belief says, I'm not enough, this won't work for me, I always screw things up, then the result is already decided before you even begin. That's why the inner game always beats the outer game. Your brain is the command center, and if it's wired for doubt, fear, or limitation, no amount of skill can override that consistently. But when your psychology is rock solid, when you believe deeply, unapologetically, that you are the kind of person who creates results, who figures things out, who finds a way, then even imperfect strategies start working. The problem is most people try to solve internal problems with external solutions. They think a new job, a new app, a new workout, or a new relationship will fix things. But nothing sticks until your mind aligns with your goals. You have to own your worth before the world reflects it back. You have to shift your emotional blueprint before the strategies will take root. The 20%, the mechanics, the plans, the steps are crucial, yes, but they only work when they're built on a foundation of belief, clarity, vision, and absolute emotional commitment. That's the 80%. That's the part no one sees, but everyone feels. Your story is your prison or your power. Choose. The story you tell yourself about who you are, what you're capable of, and what the world is like becomes the script you live by. Some people live trapped inside a narrative of pain, failure, or limitation. They carry a story that says, people like me don't succeed, or I always mess things up, or life is hard and nothing ever works out. And the truth is, they're not lying. The story becomes true because they live it into reality. Your nervous system will do anything to stay congruent with your identity. If your story is weak, your actions will follow. If your story is strong, your life will shift. You are always the narrator. Every moment you are deciding victim or creator, broken or building, defeated or rising. And until you interrupt the old narrative, until you challenge the default loop playing in your head, you will relive the same movie under different names. But you can choose differently. You can rewrite the story. You can create a new identity based on strength, resilience, possibility, and growth. It won't feel natural at first. It's not supposed to. It's a rewiring process. But once your story empowers you instead of enslaves you, your world will start to reflect that power back to you in ways that are impossible to ignore. Emotion is created by motion. Move to shift. Most people think their emotions just happen to them, like weather patterns they have to endure. But your emotional state is not random. It's a direct result of how you use your body. The way you breathe, the way you move, your posture, your facial expressions, your tone. These aren't just reflections of how you feel. They're the levers that control it. Try slumping your shoulders, hanging your head, breathing shallow, and saying, I feel amazing with a flat voice. It doesn't work because your physiology contradicts the emotion you're trying to feel. But the reverse is also true. When you change your physical state, when you breathe deeply, stay stand tall, move with energy, you send new signals to your nervous system. Those signals generate a new emotional response. You don't need to wait for confidence to take bold action. You create confidence by stepping into it physically first. Your brain listens to your body. It watches how you move and uses that input to decide how you feel. That means you have power in any moment to shift your emotions, not through thinking, but through movement. Dance, jump, sprint, breathe, stretch, yell, anything that disrupts the static energy and resets your system. Emotion doesn't live in your head, it lives in your body, and motion unlocks it. This is why athletes, performers, and peak achievers use rituals of movement before game time. It's not hype, it's science. They know that energy creates momentum, and momentum breeds certainty. You can't think your way into a better state, you move your way into it. And when your body becomes the trigger for power instead of stress, everything in your life changes, from how you communicate, to how you sell, to how you lead, to how you love. The fastest way to change your life is to master your state, and the fastest way to master your state is through mastering your movement. Change your state, change your life. Everything you do, every decision you make is driven by the emotional state you're in at the moment you make it. In a state of fear, you hesitate. In a state of anger, you push away people you love. In a state of joy, you take bold action and open new doors. Your state is the filter through which you experience reality. That means two people can be in the exact same situation and respond in completely different ways, not because the situation is different, but because their internal state is. And the powerful truth is, you are not a slave to the state you woke up in this morning. You can shift it, you can train it, you can condition it like a muscle. If you want to live a different life, don't start by trying to change everything around you. Start by changing what's within you. Your emotional home, the state you return to most often, is what ultimately defines your destiny. If your default is stress, worry, doubt, or fear, then your life will reflect that. But if you build new habits of gratitude, energy, power, and certainty, then your results will begin to align with that emotional baseline. Where focus goes, energy flows. Whatever you consistently give your attention to, you fuel. Your focus is the most powerful tool you own, more powerful than your time, your money, or even your talent, because what you focus on expands. If you focus on what's missing, you'll feel lack. If you focus on what you can't control, you'll feel powerless. You focus on fear, you'll feel frozen. But if you shift your focus, if you choose to lock in on solutions, possibilities, progress, your whole emotional and energetic state shifts. Focus determines your reality, because nothing has meaning until you give it one, and the meaning you assign is directly tied to what you're looking at. Most people don't guard their focus. They let the world hijack it. News cycles, social media, endless distractions. And then they wonder why they feel anxious, frustrated, stuck. Your brain is like a heat-seeking missile. Whatever target you give it, it will lock on. So if you wake up and focus on everything going wrong, your energy follows that pattern. But if you wake up and direct your focus toward what you're grateful for, what you're excited about, what you can influence today, then your energy starts to rise, your decisions improve, your actions shift. It's not magic, it's alignment. And alignment starts with intention. Where are you pointing your mind every morning, every hour? That choice, repeated daily, sculpts your life. Focus is not just about avoiding negativity, it's about choosing power. You can focus on your past or your future. You can focus on failure or on the lesson. You can focus on problems or on the next step forward. And the truth is, both options are always there. The question is, which one are you feeding? Because where focus goes, energy flows, and